I have just watched the video and I have to make a small amendment. The previous video that I did recorded a couple of minutes ago, and I just have to make a small amendment. I said nowadays in the traditional monotheistic religions you see that are, at least those that I know, which is Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. The believers believe in God in a grateful and humble way, and it's clear that I mean conservative religious communities nowadays, that exist nowadays, still, or again, or yeah, whatever, I don't know, just some are very old, had old roots, some are newly created, yeah, but there are conservative movements within these religions, so of course, there are also people who are, or whose ancestors have been Christians, Jews, Jewish, or Muslims that are no longer really believing. They don't, either formally because they don't attend church or synagogue or mosque, or because they simply don't believe in God anymore, but maybe they still, here in Switzerland we have church taxes, maybe they still pay church taxes, or they go once a year, they go into church, in case of Christians, when there is Christmas. Yeah, just people who are not preoccupied a lot with belief in God or the founder of their respective religions. In Christianity it would be Jesus, or in Islam Muhammad, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. I think it's Muhammad, to pronounce it correctly or as correctly as possible in Arabic. Yeah, yeah, so the adherents of these religions are conservative to a varying degree, this I wanted to say. Some are really ultra-conservative, where you also see it in terms of clothing, or very strict adherence to old, I would say mostly outdated rules. But there's this one rule that I talked a lot about in the previous video. I don't want to repeat it now. Humbleness and gratitude towards God. Yeah. So this I wanted to say when I talk about followers of traditional monotheistic religions. I primarily mean the more or less conservative, or even very conservative adherents of this religion. And not the people, like, for example, I also have been, in my teenager and 20 years. When I was maybe 15 years old, or 20 years old, or 25 years old. Just a Christian on paper, paying Christian taxes, church taxes, but not really believing in God, not thinking really that there might be a supreme entity, a supreme creator that has created everything and is responsible for, at least for the basic setup of the world or the universe of all universes. I also didn't think a lot about the universe. For example, I was probably also not aware that there might be an infinite number of universes in a whole super universe. We don't know it. We don't know it. Science is still very, very just in its earliest beginnings of understanding all this, of discovering all this. Yeah, this I wanted to say. The word nowadays meant that these traditional conservative or even ultra-conservative religious communities still exist nowadays, and they will also. There is no sign that they will dissolve or weak or slowly. How do you say? Disappear into mainstream society. And this is a big chance. This is a great chance for us radical transhumanists, because it gives us an opportunity to be more humble ourselves, to not forget that there is one supreme entity that might be very, very, absolutely, perfectly, totally, ultimately benevolent, with a very good heart, and who has created the universe in a way that its creators also have to suffer, of course, but that they also have moments of joy and hope and love, probably. Yes. That the situation is not as bad as it could theoretically be. Yeah. It's not a paradise, as it has been, for example, described also in the beginning of the Bible. But it's more close to paradise than it is to ultimate hell. But for what I also want to say, now I bring my finger here into the camera. I have to put it very close so that it is visible. It's a little bit unnatural like that. But don't forget that there are especially animals. For example, animals on fur farms or animals in industrial agriculture that have a very, very bad, very miserable, horrible, deplorable, absolutely horrible life without any dignity, without any hope, one can say. But and they are God's loved creatures too. If you believe in God, one should not forget that. Or if you don't believe in God, they have rights. They have, how do you say, inalienable rights, or something like that. They have these rights that you cannot take away from them, and we should treat them correctly. We should stop all agricultural farming, all fur farming, all massive, horrific mistreatment, pervasive systematic. It has also to do something with capitalistic production methods. So it's an industrial way of mistreating people, people in the past, but also today, a lot of people also don't have a good life, not just animals, but of mistreating animals. What did I want to say? Oh, I forgot the wording. Yeah, mistreating animals. Not giving them any rights. Not giving them any hopes. What will they think of us humans? How will the humans be punished if should hell exist indeed in their afterlife? Because they did that to the animals. totally innocent creatures. Yeah, my memory is not so good anymore. Yeah, these animals live in the closest approximation what could be total hell, absolute hell. It's not absolute hell, of course, but it's absolutely horrible compared to what humans who live in relatively good conditions have to endure. Okay, in the end of one's own life, also probably people who had a relatively good life will have to endure hardships. Because when you are dying, it's probably hard to, especially the weeks or days and hours and minutes, minutes I'm not sure, but hours before you die, it's probably very German belastend, stressful, it's not a nice experience. The animals, for example, in factory farming or on fur farms, they have to endure such feelings of horrible, being treated in a horrible way. Yeah, it's abuse in the worst possible way, and they have to endure this for their whole life. Yeah, but still, in absolute hell, it would be far worse. It would be far, far worse. Because, yeah, it's because you can limitlessly extend the suffering of theoretically of anybody. You can, if true absolute hell exists, it would become worse and worse, and then imagine it even worse, and then even worse. There would be no limits in terms of horror, of suffering, yeah. So, be grateful that it's just only a little bit bad, or moderately bad, or moderate suffering. And even if you have the impression that you suffer extremely, it's still not as extreme as it could theoretically be. Because God had set limits, also physical limits, because our bodies are limited, our neural systems, our brains, our nerves, they are limited, our cognitive abilities are also, and emotions and abilities of suffering are limited, so, yeah, it's, as horrible as it might be, it could be far worse. So I have to stop now. I'm repeating myself. Unfortunately, I forgot. I didn't remember what I wanted to say then, because I was distracted a little bit. But I think it's no problem. It was not so important. So now I have talked for 13 minutes and 53 seconds. I now say time and date. It's now 1 hour and 33 minutes around. Maybe plus minus 1 minus 1 minute, plus minus 1 minute, I'm not sure. If the clock is really, really precise, although I'm Swiss, I should ensure that all clocks are always very precise. No, it's a joke. It's Wednesday, 8th of August, 2018. Okay, thanks a lot for watching, and bye. It's now almost 50 minutes the recording, so I have to stop. Bye, thanks.